sorry for having that happen. I didn't have to finish the prophecy of the dragonets. So 5 eggs to hatch on the brightest night, 5 dragons born to end the fight. She'll have the power of wings of fire, 5 eggs to hatch on the brightest night, 5 dragons born to end the fight. Darkness will rise to bring the light, the dragonets are coming! I'm gonna skip the prologue, no. Prologue, whatever. Because that takes forever. Part 1. Under the Mountain. Chapter 1. 6 years later, after Queen Oasis's death. So, yeah, I see 6 years. Clay didn't think he was the right dragon for the big, heroic destiny. Oh, he wanted to be. He wanted to be the great Mudwing savior of the dragon world, glorious and brave. He wanted to do all the wonderful things expected of him. He wanted to look at the world, figure out what was broken, and fix it. He wanted a natural hatched hero. He wasn't a natural hatched hero. He had no legendary qualities at all. He liked sleeping more than studying. And he kept losing chickens in the caves during hunting practice because he was paying attention to his friends instead of watching for feathers. He was alright at fighting, but alright wasn't going to stop the war and save the dragon tribes. He needed to be extraordinary. He was the biggest dragonet, so he was supposed to be the scary, tough one. The minders wanted him to be terrifyingly dangerous. He felt about as dangerous as cauliflower. Fight! His attacker howled, flinging him across the cavern. Clay crashed into the rock wall and scrambled up again, trying to spread his mud-colored wings for balance. Red talons raked at his face, and he ducked away. "Come on!" the red dragon snarled. "Stop holding back! Find the killer inside of you and let it out!" "I'm trying," Clay said. "Maybe if we could stop and talk about it?" She lunged for him. "Feint to the left, roll right, use your fire!" Clay tried to duck under her wing to attack her from below, but of course he rolled the wrong way. One of her talons smashed him into the ground and he yelped with pain. "What lead was that? Useless!" Kestrel bellowed in his ear. "Are all Mudwings this stupid? Or are you just deaf? Well, if you keep that, it will be soon, Clay thought. The Skywing lifted her. Her claws and he wriggled free. "I don't know about other Mudwings," he protested, licking his sore talons, obviously. "Perhaps we could try fighting without all the shouting and see." He stopped, hearing the familiar hiss that came before one of Kestrel's fire attacks. He threw his wing over his head, ducked his long neck in, and rolled into the maze of stalagmites that studded one corner of the cave. Flames blasted the rocks around him, singeing the tip of his tail. "Coward!" the older dragon bellowed. She smashed one of the rock columns into a shower of sharp black pebbles. Clay covered his eyes and almost immediately felt her stamp down hard on his tail. "Ow!" he yelled. "You said stomping on tail was cheating." He seized the closest stalagmite between his claws and stabbed up on top of it. From his perch near the roof, he glared down at his guardian. "I'm your teacher," Kestrel snarled. "Nothing I do is cheating. Get down here and fight like a Skywing." "But I'm not a Skywing," Clay thought rebelliously. "I'm a Mudwing. I don't like setting things on fire or flapping around in circles, fighting dragons' necks." His teeth still ached from Cressel's jewel-hard scales. "I can't fight like one of the others. Can't I fight one of the others?" he asked. "I'm much better at that than one dragonette." The other dragonettes were his own size, nearly, and they didn't cheat most of the time. He actually liked fighting with them. "Oh yes, which opponent would you prefer, the stunted Sandwing or the lazy Rainwing?" Kestrel said, "Because I'm sure you'll get to choose." Out on the battlefield, her tail glowed like embers as she lashed it back and forth. "Glory's not lazy," Clay said loyally. "She's just not built for fighting. That's all. Webs says there's not much to fight about in the rainforest because the Rainwings have all the food they want. He says that's why they've stayed out of the war so far, because none of the rival queens want Rainwings in their armies anyways. He says." "Stop yammering and get down here," Kestrel roared. She reared up her back legs and flared her wings so she suddenly looked 3 times bigger. Alright, we're about to be done. With a yelp of I have a couple more minutes ago. With a yelp of alarm, Clay tried to leap to this next stalagmite, but his wings unfurled too slowly, and he smacked into the side of it instead. Sparks flew as his claws scraped down and a jagged rock. He let out another yowl of pain as Kestrel snaked her head between the columns, seizing his tail in her teeth, and yanked him out into the open. "Hey, kitten! Sit up there." Talons closed around his neck as she hissed in his ear. "Where's the violent little monster I saw when you hatched?" "That's the dragon we need for the prophecy." Gwomp. Gomp. Gawop. Gawop. I don't know how to say the word. Clay squawked. Oh, and if you do, or you can search it up, it's spelled Gawp. Clay squawked, clawing at her grip. He could feel the strange burn scars on her palms scraping against the scales. This is how battle training was with Crystal. Always ended with him unconscious and then sore or limping for days afterward. Fight back, he thought. Get mad. Do something. But although he was the biggest of the dragonettes, they were still a year away from being full grown, and Kestrel towered over him. He tried to summon some helpful violent rage, but all he could think was, "It'll be over soon, then we can go have dinner." Yeah, Clay's okay, kitten, stop. Clay's someone who loves to eat. So not the most heroic train of thought. Suddenly Kestrel let out a roar and dropped him. Fire blasted over Clay's head, and as he hit the floor with a thud, the red dragon whirled around. Behind her, panted defiantly, was the Sea-Wing Dragonette Tsunami. A red gold scale was caught between her sharp white teeth. She spat it out and glared at the teacher. "Stop picking on Clay," Tsunami growled, "or I'll bite you again." "Kitten!" "One second. Sorry about that." Her deep blue scale shimmered like cobalt glass in the torchlight. Her gills on her long neck were pulsing like they always did when she was angry. "Sorry, my kitten got me tired." Kestrel sat back and flicked her tail around to examine the bite mark. She bared her teeth at Tsunami. "Aren't you sweet for that? Protecting a dragon who tried to kill you while you were still an egg." And I gotta go. So have a great day. And next video we'll catch up where we